First of all, thank you so much for giving me this opportunity to say a few words on digital Finnovation. As some of you may know, this is my second last day in banking. Tomorrow being my last day, after which I end about 31 years, a little over 31 years in banking and move on. यो 31 वर्षको ब्याङ्किङको अनुभव आखिरी उसमा आउँदाखेरि फर्केर हेरिराख्नु मन रहेछ। त्यही भएर फिनोभेसन, डिजिटल फिनोभेसनको बारेमा कुरा गरिदिनुस् भन्दाखेरि पनि मलाई अलिकति हामीले यो भएन त्यो भएन नेपालमा भनेर भन्छौँ, तर एकचोटि केही मिनेट लिएर चाहिँ कहाँ थियौँ र कहाँ आज पुगेको छौँ त्यसमा पनि अलिकति अध्ययन गर्नुपर्ला जस्तो लाग्यो मलाई चाहिँ। किनभने there is a lot to do, there is no doubt about it. Many countries have done a lot more. We have to go much further. I saw Sanjeev Rajbhandari ji. Is he here in the hall? Oh, there you are. I was a student studying in Delhi in school, and Sanjeev ji and a cousin brother of mine showed up in Delhi, I think on a road trip. And that was the first time I heard about the World Wide Web. And he tried to explain to me how on a machine you could get into see everything and learn everything and so on and so forth. And there was going to be something called an email. And through email you could write mail and the person would get it immediately. And I didn't tell him and my brother, but I was sure they had been smoking some very funny stuff. That was my first experience of hearing about the internet. In one lifetime, from then to here, what all has happened in the world in the framework of the digital landscape? And what all has happened in Nepal also? If you think about it, a lot of people talk of a lot of things, but 1877, which seems quite a long time ago, was the first time when we got formal banking in Nepal. The king was a guy called Ranadeep, and we got something called the Tejrad Adda. And that was the first time in Kathmandu Valley, because that was the center of trading, they did some sort of formal financial services. Nepal Bank was established in 1937, not that long ago. 1937, and that was the first commercial bank, nothing to do with digital, no computer there. Nepal Rashtra Bank itself, our central bank, our governing body, was established in 1956. 1956. Are we in 2056? No, not yet. Not even 100 years back. After which, Nabil Bank, then Nepal Arab Bank, came as the first private sector bank, a joint venture bank. And guess what? One of the two main things it brought in was, the first thing it brought in was something called customer service, customer relationship managers. Wow. But more interesting than that was it came in as the first computerized bank of Nepal. The first computerized bank. र त्यो बेलामा यो कम्प्युटराइज्ड बैंक के हो भनेर हेर्नलाई अर्थमन्त्रीज्यू पनि आउनुभयो, त्यो बेलाको राष्ट्रिय योजना आयोगको मान्छेहरू पनि आउनुभयो, सचिवज्यूहरू त कति आउनुभयो, आर्मीको चिफ पनि आउनुभयो, के हो त यो कम्प्युटराइज्ड बैंक भनेर। धेरै कम मान्छेलाई थाहा छ, कम्प्युटर धेरै सानो थियो, देखाउनलाई लाज लाग्थ्यो, त्यही भएर हामीले के देखाउँथ्यौँ, एउटा इलेक्ट्रोनिक चेक राइटर थियो, हामी सबैजनालाई त्यही चेक राइटर देखाउँथ्यौँ। And सबजना एकदम खुसी हुन्थ्यो, ओहो यस्तो हुँदो रहेछ, कम्प्युटराइज्ड ब्याङ्क, ल ठिक छ कम्प्युटराइज्ड हो भनेर। And that was in 1984. After that, in 1990, the first credit card systems came to Nepal. After that, the first ATM was introduced by Himalayan Bank in 1995. Just in 1995, the first ATM came to Nepal. Internet banking was introduced by Kumari Bank in 2002. In 2009, eSeva introduced the digital wallet in collaboration with Nabil Bank. 2 दिन बाँकी छ, नुनको सोझो नै गर्नुपर्छ। अनि अहिले हरेक धेरै जस्तो नेपालीको खल्तीमा eSeva एउटा फर्म या अर्कोमा छ र त्यसको प्रयोग भइरहेको छ। र 2012 सालमा लक्ष्मी बैंकले पहिलोचोटि मोबाइल बैंकिङ भनेर लन्च गर्यो। र अब 2021 सालको अन्तिमदेखि लिएर यो 2022 सालमा देशको पहिलो कम्प्युटराइज्ड बैंक नाबिल बैंक is now trying to move forward to be the first truly digital bank of Nepal. अब शाखा कतिवटा छ भनेर भन्ने हैन, नेपालीको खल्तीमा फोन कतिवटा छ, किनभने फोन खल्तीमा छ भनेदेखि त्यहाँ नाबिल ब्याङ्क पनि पुग्न सक्ने छ भनेर पहिलो नियो ब्याङ्क लन्च गर्नलाई हामी अगाडि बढिरहेको छौँ। त्यो सँगसँगै हामी सँगसँगै धेरै अरू ब्याङ्कहरू पनि अघि बढिरहेको छ। दिस इज बीन द जर्नी अफ नेपाली ब्याङ्किङ। एन्ड नेपाली ब्याङ्किङको जर्नीमा चाहिँ द इन्फ्लुएन्स अफ टेक्नोलोजी इज एभर ग्रोइङ। 1984 मा कम्प्युटराइज ब्याङ्क आइसकेपछि धेरै बेरसम्म केही पनि भएन, लल थियो। आई वाज द सिइओ अफ नाबिल ब्याङ्क इन अनदर अवतार इन 2004-05। त्यही बेलामा हामीले अनलाइन अकाउन्ट ओपनिङ लन्च गरिसकेको थियौँ। त्यही बेलामा हामीले एउटा एप लन्च गरिसकेको थियौँ। मार्केट वाज कम्प्लिटली अनइन्ट्रेस्टेड, nobody was interested. And a lot of people came from World Bank, IMF, and they all used to say, Kenya हेर्नुस् न, केनियामा त्यो के M-Paisa भन्ने छ, why doesn't Nepal have something like M-Paisa? We tried, not only us, so many tried, but there was no uptake in the market. अनि अलिकति डीप डाइभ गर्नु हैन, यो M-Paisa मा के रहेछ त भन्दाखेरि M-Paisa मा के पनि रहेनछ, केनियामा के रहेछ। केनियामा के रहेछ भनेदेखि चाहिँ अलिकति पैसो खल्तीमा हालेर हिँड्यो भनेदेखि बन्दुक नभए ठुलो छुरी लिएर आएर मान्छेले चाहिँ रब गर्ने रहेछ। त्यही भएर पैसो बोक्ने काम रहेनछ केनियामा। अब पैसो नबोक्ने भनेपछि कि फोनमा M-Paisa हालेपछि त पैसो छैन, ओहो नो मनी, फिनिस्ड। सो क्राइम वाज द बिगेस्ट क्याटलिस्ट फर M-Paisa's exponential boom in Kenya. नेपालमा या त क्राइम ग्रो गर्नु पर्यो, not a good option, but something happened. And it was called COVID. And when COVID happened and the pandemic came, the digital revolution in Nepali banking really started. Because then, one, we were locked in. Second, nobody wanted to go out even if they wanted to. And the first pressure came to us from our corporates. We have to continue to do banking. We cannot come to your office. We don't want to come to your office. And during the first lockdown, we launched something called E@Nabil, which is a corporate solution in its very basic stages. And it was taken up by everybody. Then we had big corporates come up, like the main sponsor, Huawei, who said, what is this? It's checkbook. What is checkbook? You have to sign. My signature is in Shanghai. We have not signed this for 10 years. You want me to bank with you? You give me a solution whereby I can. And we need 2 signatures, if not 3 signatures, to be signed in Shanghai, Hong Kong, Chengdu. They sit in different places. Everywhere else I have this system. It was the pressure from the customer that made us evolve even faster to give a system whereby customers now bank out of China, out of Bangkok, out of Dubai. No one signs a check. Even their salaries are paid, even their water payment is made out of there. Along the same time, we also launched, along with other banks, something called the GenN account, which was the same online account. Remember I told you 2004? Same thing, little more tinkers and bells. The uptake is phenomenal. From then to now, that is the largest number of accounts opened in Nabil Bank's history. And what number of accounts we had opened in 30 years, in the next 2 years, we doubled that number of accounts. Because we not only got new account opening method, but we got a completely new account holder. And that was the account holder who were the age group of my children. Nabil Bank, सबैजनाको हजुरबुवा, हजुरमुवा, बुवा मुवाको बैंक भइसकेको थियो. तर what we realized was we were missing out in the younger generation. And digitization helped us to rope in that younger generation and to bring them into banking. And not only Nabil, the entire industry moved into digitization. Today we stand at an amazing position. A place which is not the end, but the beginning. The World Wide Web and the email that Sanjeev ji told me about in the late 80s is not the World Wide Web of today. Similarly, the banking and digitization that we see today in Nepal is not the destination, but the base camp from which we can start. And a major role in this has been the positive thinking of our regulator, the Nepal Rashtra Bank. I don't hesitate in saying after Mahaprasad ji came in as the governor, we had a conversation about QR codes, and we told him what the hurdles were. Before we reached the office to tell our respective teams what the meeting was, those hurdles had been removed by Rashtra Bank. And that is why today a vegetable vendor with a cycle has a QR code around his neck on which the morning walker who wants to buy fresh lychees or mangoes can zap the QR code. And why does the vegetable vendor so happy with the QR code? Because on the way home, when he has to buy the chamal, dal and tel for his family to eat, he knows to kirana pasal ma pani he can use that QR code. The people know they can go to school and pay for their children's school fees. The emergency पर्यो बुवा एकदम बिरामी हुनुभयो राति दौडाउँदै हस्पिटल लिएर गयो भने अब पैसा चाहिँदैन फोन निकालेर क्यूआर कोडबाट चाहिँ त्यहाँ पनि तिर्न सकिन्छ भनेर. And this has happened because of three partners. One is the technology developers like eSeva. The other is our regulator, who has given a huge positive mind frame to get things done. And third is the financial institutions themselves. Today, there is definitely a dearth of qualified manpower in every sector. But for the financial sector, the biggest dearth of manpower we have is in the IT sector. अनि जति राम्रो थियो भनौँ के हो नभनौँ हैन कोले कहाँबाट पकेट मार्दै लिएर गइराखेका छन्. The times are challenging but filled with opportunities. This is an amazing place for all of you who are interested or in this domain. Not only in the financial sector, but whether you're in agriculture. I was in an agriculture fair in Chitwan the other day. Amazing. And I saw this huge drone. And that they said this drone can even carry you. I was very interested. They said, is that what it is for? To give me a drone ride? They said, no, it's for insecticide and fertilizer. And again, with technology, you can put a map. So say 5 of us own land, then 6 people own land in between. They just map it out, and that drone just flies to our land and puts the fertilizer or the insecticide or whatever we want. Again, technology. Technology is everywhere. Digitization is everywhere. We talk a lot about digitization, fintechs, Finnovation in the financial sector. Yes, that is a catalyst. But again, that is not the goal. Just digitization in the financial sector is not going to solve our problem. We need that to be the catalyst so that there is digitization in every other sector, starting with the government, I went to get the national ID card. I was very impressed. They took my retina, my this, that, everything. And now I hope that that day comes when I go to buy a car, that they will zap my ID, national ID card, and look at it. And they will say, oh, the car is 70 lakh rupees, and some algorithm and artificial intelligence will determine whether I qualify to buy that car or not from the amount of income I have shown. If I have shown an income of 50,000 rupees a month and I go to buy a car of 3.5 crore, I'm sorry, sir, but you cannot because you don't earn this money. I go to put my child in a school whose fee is 40,000 rupees a month, but I have shown an income of 60,000 rupees a month. I'm sorry, sir, government school ma janu. If I want to take my family to the Maldives for an amazing holiday, the immigration swipes my national identity card and says, I'm sorry, sir, but somehow your income doesn't allow you to go on this holiday. That is how you bring the population into line to do the right thing. And that is where digital plays a huge role, not only in banking khata and being able to pay your electricity bills. And that is what we are going to be talking about in forums like this. I'm so happy that this is the second forum I've been part of in as many weeks, I think. Because अब कुरा गर्ने हो भनेदेखि हाम्रो किसानको जिन्दगी राम्रो बनाउने या बैंकरको जिन्दगी राम्रो बनाउने या एन्टरप्रेन्योरको जिन्दगी राम्रो बनाउने गाउँमा बस्ने या शहरमा बस्ने हिमाल पहाड तराई जहाँ बस्ने मान्छेको पनि जिन्दगीमा सकारात्मक प्रभाव पार्ने हो भनेदेखि it has to be technology. And it has got to be people who are sitting in this room. So please do not look at people like me and think that we have the solutions. Because trust me, those of us who are up here, like me, are looking down at you knowing that you have the solutions. All we can do, just like our Rashtra Bank has done to us, is give an environment, build an ecosystem where people like you can excel. तर पसिना बगाउनु यहाँहरुले नै पर्छ, बुद्धि चलाउनु यहाँहरुले नै पर्छ. सञ्जीव राज भण्डारी जीले त्यो वर्ल्ड वाइड वेबको कुरा गर्दाखेरि सबै हाँस्थ्यौं. आज कोही पनि हाँसिरहेको छैन. You must all have the courage to be like him, to push forward. I see another amazing IT innovator right here in the front row, who's taking Nepali minds to the world. I see people who will be on this panel who have come, leaving jobs across the country, earning thousands of dollars, across the world, earning thousands of dollars to come and try to do it in Nepal. सँगै गर्यौं भनेदेखि केही पनि गर्नु नसकिने हामीले छैन. तर गाली मात्रै गर्यौं सरकारले यो गरेन त्यो गरेन भने केही पनि हुनेवाला छैन. As I said, when Nabil Bank came as the first computerized bank, मान्छेहरूले यिनीहरूले सबै पैसा लिएर भाग्छ भन्थे. कतिले त यो त हाम्रो चेलीबेटी बेच्न आएको अरब बैंक हो भनेर भन्थे. आज देशको नम्बर 1 बैंक भएको छ. किनभने त्यो विश्वास जित्न हामी कायम भएको छौं. यहाँहरुको पनि काम त्यही हो. You are the warriors, the frontline warriors in the digital Finnovation change that this country requires. So while you may look at my generation for support and good wishes, we do not have what it takes to take us there. It is you who has that. Whether it be in my bank, in any fintech startup, or in any sector, the digital revolution must start from that side, not from this side. Saying that, once again, I'd like to thank the organizers for giving me this opportunity. Delighted again. And I may not be in banking, but very much still in Nepal, very much still engaged in making sure that as a nation, as a society, we get to where we know we all can get to. And I know we can do it together. So thank you very much. And the panel, I've been listening to them before, doing their discourse is going to be a phenomenal discussion. I wish I could stay, but due to the delayed conditions, I have another commitment that I have to get to. So I will be there for a while and I will leave. But once again, I leave you with this. गर्ने हो भने यहाँहरूले नै गर्ने हो, पसिना यहाँहरूले नै बगाउने हो, बुद्धि यहाँहरूले नै चलाउने हो. यहाँलाई इन्स्पिरेसन चाहिन्छ भने सञ्जीवजीलाई हेर्नुहोस्, बालजीलाई हेर्नुहोस्, उहाँहरूले गरेर देखाउनु भएको छ. उहाँहरूभन्दा पनि बढी गर्नु सक्छौँ भन्ने एउटा सहनशीलता बोक्नुहोस्, एउटा आदर्श बोकेर अगाडि बढ्नुहोस्. हामी त सधैँ छौँ सँगसँगै हातमा हात लगाएर अगाडि लिएर जानलाई. I look forward to taking digital innovation, to taking Finnovation to the next level together. And few years from now, standing up here and saying, look at this, we are where we wanted to be, but there is still so much more to do. Thank you very much. Thank you.